Round 3 is where we got Jonah Jackson. Round 3 is where we got Graham Glasgow. So knowing that we've got a guy who's headed to Canton on the right side in Sewell, right, 10 years, 15 years down the road, right, you've got to balance what you're paying these guys. You've already got a Pro Bowl center, right? Taylor Decker, I know, is coming towards the end of his. But you can't have 5 Pro Bowlers, midway through their career and afford that on the offensive line. You just can't.
So, Brian, again, that's why this debate is so fascinating, because a lot of what you say makes sense. It's not the direction I would go. I would try and bring him back. But if you are correct, like, the one thing is you have to acknowledge letting him walk is taking a chance. It's taking a actually rather sizable chance. Just because you got Jonah Jackson in the 3rd round doesn't mean there's a 3rd round guard store that you can just walk in and purchase a very, very good guard with a 3rd round pick. And it's a risk. Now, do we have faith in Holmes as a drafter? Yeah, the draft is his strength. And you think he should be able to do it, but I'm not willing to take the chance personally. I'd bring the line back as it is and try and draft at other positions, but I understand your comments.
I think you have to factor in that around the league, I believe we have one of the more respected offensive line coaches, too, in Hank Fraley. And I'm sure that he's part of this conversation, too. I'm sure they're saying, hey, Hank, what confidence do you have on who we have today, right, outside of Jonah? Can they play? And then can we also – listen, yes, you're taking a chance on losing Jonah Jackson, but you're also taking a chance on maybe improving the position, right, by drafting someone else. This is where I think the Hockenson trade is going to pay off, truthfully.
We get that draft pick they're using. Yeah, Brian, it's a strong – I mean, both things could be true. Like, they could keep the offensive line together and it'd be very smart, and they could move on from Jonah Jackson and be very smart. It's just which direction do you prefer? Look, we did a Twitter poll on Friday about if Brad Holmes is mulling over, do I spend $21 million on Jonah Jackson and Graham Glasgow, or do I spend $21 million on L'Jarius Sneed? And the Twitter poll had 50.2% saying bring both guards back and 49.8% saying spend the money on Sneed. I mean, it's because you have a limited budget, it's tough decisions that are being made right now. Ultimately, though, whatever direction Brad Holmes goes, unless he does something completely shocking, I can't wait to see it play itself out, because there's some guys out there in this draft that look like bona fide starters, that look like guys that can play and play well and come. Look, your 2nd round pick costs you $1.16 million. Jonah Jackson might cost you 10 times that much, more than that,
Right.
So if you trust your evaluations, like what you see, does make sense, and walk into that 3rd round guard store and get a good player in the 3rd round guard store.
The guard store.